Welcome to the Word of the Lord, the weekly television broadcast of Living Word Christian Church, proclaiming the good news of the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. Pastor Mark Clements' in-depth, relevant biblical teachings will help you in life and living in today's world. Now, let's join Pastor Clements in the service already in progress.
If you attend church here, you know that we do this from time to time in services. Thank you. We'll take questions, and I don't answer all of them this way. I'll answer every question. Sometimes, if I might just be able to say this and maybe help you who go to this church, you aren't the only ones that ask questions. And if people are watching from on Twitter or on one of our broadcasts and Instagram or one of our on Facebook or YouTube, if you're asking a question, put it in question form. Sometimes it's in statement form, like, I've always wondered about, but I don't know if you want an answer. I don't know if you want a response or you're just kind of venting. I don't know. I don't know, because it's in a statement form. There's no question asked. And so if you want an answer, ask a question. It's the same way with the Lord. Yeah, if you're inquisitive about stuff, then just realize this: He's under no obligation to tell you everything, and you will never learn everything about God. Not this side of eternity, and not the other side of eternity either. There's something about our God that the angels don't comprehend, don't understand. They stand in awe. At least the honorable ones. Okay, and so this is a question. It was presented. I'm kind of in the dark a little bit because I don't understand any of the the circumstance behind it. But it is not a complicated question. Some of you are going to snicker. Some of you are just going to laugh out loud. Some of you are going to look around like, why are they laughing? Okay, so the question is, Pastor. See, no signature or anything like that. That's fine. I don't mind not knowing who it came from. Sometimes I'd like to know a little bit more about it. But the question is, how do I tell people no? Deep, huh? How do I tell people no? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to do this with your tongue. No. Here's the way you do it. You say no. Practice. No. How do I tell people no? Here's what I do. I just tell them no. Now, there's a couple other words here: expectations and assumptions. So I'm just going to assume. So somebody's going to have to write me back and say, you blew it big time. That wasn't what I was asking. So, okay. But there are many times. See, whenever you make an assumption, whenever you assume something, it's always to your benefit. Whenever you make an assumption, you assume you know what people are thinking. You assume that their schedule is free. You're just assuming that they'll say yes. You go to somebody and you kind of corner them and say, hey, I heard from so-and-so that you really like baked chicken and mashed potatoes and gravy, and so I went out and bought 3 chickens, and they're back in the oven at home right now, and the potatoes are all boiled, and all I got to do is go home, mash them, and I got my grandma's recipe for homemade. See, if I've already got plans, I'm going to be some kind of mad at you. Put that all out there in front of me, and then I can't come eat it. But see, I won't have any trouble at all just saying, well, let me help you with something. Next time you want to do something so sweet and so nice and so kind and so thoughtful, would you please ask first if the date's open and if we can actually make that? Don't just assume. Don't just make assumptions. Don't just assume that we're free that day and that we can make it. But people do that. They do it to you. They make assumptions. They just assume that, hey, come on. Now, I don't know if this had anything to do with Christmas. It just happened to be like right around the holidays. And so I have to look at it and I have to say, wow, expectations and assumptions. You know, when the matriarch of the family, excuse me if you are, but if the matriarch of the family plans Christmas, you know what they do? They expect that all the little ducklings are going to be there. And Daffy's going to be there too. Because Daphnia planned Christmas. And it doesn't matter if it's in the evening or in the afternoon or if there's a football game or if you have other plans, and you are expected to be there. So how do you say no? You do it like this. No. Now, what happens? A lot of times this happens. A lot of times. I can say it because we raised 2 children. They're children no longer. They're adults. They're both married. And it's not right for us to have expectations of them and assume that just because we thought about it and talked about it, that somehow was translated through the airwaves by osmosis, and now they know what we expect. Now, let me say this. If your kids are like 1, 6, 9, 15, you got every right to expect that they're going to be there. And then they may come back and say, well, I planned something with my friends. Well, guess what? Unplan something with your friends. But we're not going to plan a great big meal and then say, we expect both of you and bring your spouse. Well, we've got a work party that night and we can't be there, and I'm sorry, we'd love to. I've got no right to be upset at them. If I just assumed and I didn't ask and I didn't clear, and what right do I have of having expectations for my adult children just because it's New Year's Eve, just because I'm having a party, just because it's my birthday. Okay. Your point is? So that I'm just making some assumptions here that maybe there's a correlation between me being asked this question right during the holidays, and the 2 words on there are expectations and assumptions, and just how do I tell people no? I've been like wrestling for 2 days to try and find a better way to say this, but I haven't yet, so I'm just going to say it, and then one of you can just help me. Part of the issue is you need to grow up. Yeah, part of it is you just need to get over, I think I'm going to hurt their feelings. If you're their child and their feelings are that frail, you don't need to grow up. They do. All right, like I said, I tried for 2 days, so help me. Write me a nice note how I could have said that kinder. Okay. No, there are things that you can't squeeze an extra hour into the day. There's no such thing as a 25-hour day. You cannot be in 2 places at once. You can't do it. You can't do it. And if there are conflicts, you're just going to have to be the one to make the determination and decision of what you can do and what you can't do. And if you can't do it, don't feel bad about saying no. And let me take another step further. Even if you can do it and you just don't want to, no. Okay. Now, if I've already made a commitment, I've taught you this before, I've taught this, and I'm not going to change it because it's of its accuracy. If you make a commitment and then a better offer comes in, baked chicken is good, but homemade pizza? Come on. So a better offer comes in, don't just release yourself from your word. Those people are expecting you, and they have every right to expect it of you. You gave them your word. They have every right to expect and assume that you're just going to be there. Don't just not show up. Hey, remember that offer? I changed my mind. No, don't change your mind. Swear, and if it's to your own hurt, don't change. That's Psalm 16. Proverbs says, have nothing to do with a man given to change. If you make your commitment, follow through with your commitment. Confirm your word with signs following, just like God does. Watch over your word to perform it, just like God does. Now, if I give my word, and if I say, thanks for the invite, sounds really great, Paula and I will be there at 2 o'clock on Sunday. And then another invitation comes in. They're landing at the airport. They're only going to be in La Crosse for 15 minutes. They'd like you to pray for their baby. They're on their way out to a specialist in New York State, and they really like you to lay hands on the baby, and they're going to land right at 2:15. Now, what do? Blow this one off so I can go do that? No, I go back to this one and say, will you release me from my prior commitment? I gave you my word. This has come up. Can I be released from that commitment? And they say, oh, absolutely. Go pray for that little baby. I'm going to do it. But I'm not going to do it without asking their permission to be released from that commitment. I can't just assume that they will see the spirituality and the importance of that. I can't just expect them to do that. So I hope I've helped you. I hope I've answered that at least in part for you. It's not the easiest thing in the world. The last thing I want to say is this. This is a very well-worded question. How do I tell people no? Did you hear it? Did you hear it? What did you hear? How do I tell people? One more time? People. You don't ever tell God no. You don't ever tell God no. Not even once, no, not never. You can get away with telling people I'm too busy. No, the Lord doesn't understand that. He'll understand. No, He won't. Well, I think He will. Give me verses. I've got plenty. No, the Lord of the house was hostile, angry. He didn't understand that they were too busy when they told Him. He said, come into my house, the meal's ready. And they said no. You don't tell the Lord no.
Thank you for watching The Word of the Lord, a weekly television broadcast of Living Word Christian Church. Living Word Christian Church welcomes you to join us at 2015 Ward Avenue in La Crosse, Wisconsin, Sunday mornings at 8:15 and 10:30, and Wednesday evenings at 7. For more information on Living Word Christian Church, visit us on the web at lwcclax.com.